end of the season last year for Syracuse. You lose 6 in a row, but a real good start, and now trying to build off of it.
It wasn't the strongest first year for Gary Gait, but he has plenty of lacrosse experience. The 22, obviously, in the rafters says a lot, but you have a legend on that sideline for the Cuse, and he's looking for an opportunity to take down the Great Danes for the first time ever.
On the other end, well, it's a veteran. Scott Marr in his 23rd season with UAlbany. Last year, he said, well, it just wasn't up to our standard. 5-10, a very similar season to that of the Orange, but looking to resurrect things in what's UAlbany's season opener. It's
a golden opportunity for the Great Danes. I mean, lots of purple and gold here inside the dome. Let's find out what UAlbany can do against the Cuse in 2023's edition.
It's go time. At the face-off X and won by the Orange, Johnny Rachusa. He immediately sprints in, and now Syracuse sets up the offense.
And that was a big question coming into today. Can Syracuse win faceoffs knowing there's no Jacob Fopp out there in midfield? Last year, he won 18 of those faceoffs, and UAlbany sees a 4-man rotation. Winning draws at the dot is an important thing for Scott Marr. He said that was one of his 4 keys coming into tonight's matchup.
Rachusa 7 for 16 from the faceoff X and the 7-5 win last Saturday against Vermont. Hiltz dumps in, shot on net and a goal! How about that for a start? Jackson Burtwhistle and the Orange off and running.
That's exactly what you're looking for. Syracuse started out slow last year, but the feed from someone that wasn't in that matchup last season, Owen Hiltz right in the center to Burtwhistle gets the easy feed and an even better score going to the bottom left corner.
Jackson Burtwhistle, he was the only Syracuse player last week to net multiple goals. Says, hey, I'll get things started myself, not wasting any time. Syracuse less than a minute in. You see on your screen the 2 goals, then added a lot on the defensive side too.
This team's got to be physical. If Syracuse wants to have a strong game tonight and an even stronger season, you have to lay out a couple of hits on your opponent.
Rachusa runs all the way back to the defensive third, but secures possession for the Orange. A goal inside the first 35 seconds of action. That's how you get it started after a game where, well, Trey, goals came at a premium in that game against the Catamounts.
I mean, especially after 1 quarter of play. I mean, it was 1-0 Catamounts. Syracuse didn't even get on the board in the first set of 15 last week.
Spallina X finds the dangerous Owen Hiltz. Syracuse sets up shop. Racing in Luke Roa. And that's out of the stick of Carter Kempney, rolling out of bounds, and a turnover. First one forced by the Great Danes.
That's something Gary Gait talked about a lot in our call this week. Limit the turnovers. If they can do that, they'll have a successful weekend.
Elijah Gass all the way in, a long pole goal. You want a response, Great Danes? You got one.
Saw a couple of those at Casey Stadium when these 2 faced off last season. And this is just picture perfect from Gash. Nobody is on him. He has so many looks there. He has a golden opportunity, takes advantage of it. Going on the weaker side, it's cake for Gash.
He had 2 goals all of last season. How about the response from the Great Danes? 2 sides that, well, went back and forth last season. It was UAlbany that took a 14-12 win. And if this start is any indication, we could be in for another fantastic contest between these 2 local foes. The ball loose and picked up by the leading goal scorer, Braden Hall. Now in over the restraining line. As the Great Danes trying to take the lead for the first time in this one. Palangin into the offensive third, now racing all the way back to X. Here he comes. That ball out of the stick and poked loose. Thomas Decker couldn't hold on to it. Here come the Orange on the brink. Owen Hiltz. What did the Orange decide to do? Carter Rice backing off. Expect with the injury to Brandon Aviles, Carter Rice to play a lot more up.
And he already had a phenomenal move to take it into the offensive zone for the Cuse. Nice spin moving around midfield. If they score here, look to Rice for some credit.
Michael Leo with speed. Look to try a shot, instead holds on to it. How about the Great Danes with the physicality? That's a turnover. 1-1 the score. Less than 3 minutes in. Great Danes threatening again. It's Graydon Hogg. 4 goals last season against the Orange to help UAlbany pick up that upset win, 14-12 at Casey Stadium. UAlbany just 1 for 5, though, to finish the season after that. And that turnover will give Syracuse possession. Orange racing in. Pass in front, shot bounces and over the nets. Great look in front of it. Sam Alexo, who had Syracuse's first goal of the season, and the first goal against Vermont, had the chance.
And he was right at the doorstep. He came out of nowhere, completely unmarked by this UAlbany defense.
A couple of changes for the Orange. Finn Thompson, he gives off to Michael Leo. Leo, the freshman.
Very young group. Lots of talent with this young class as well for the Cuse.
Shot on net. That's in. Unbelievable. Jackson Birtwistle making an early statement.
That was nasty.
How about 2 goals for Jackson Birtwistle? We haven't even played 5 minutes.
When you hear the ping, it makes it even sweeter. Birtwistle getting marked pretty well defensively, but you just cannot stop a shot like that. Hardly any angle there. Ping. That is easy money for Birtwistle. Another look at it here. Just has to be the sidewinder. That is so pure from Jackson.
Wow. Alex Pfeiffer, the mid, he was all over him. Jackson Birtwistle says, I don't care. He's got 2 goals. Folks, we haven't even played 4 minutes inside the JMA Wireless Dome.
When you add the ping into it, though, it's like what Anish Shroff said on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. He posted this, but you add that, it creates a symphony.
At X, Enders and Rashusa. This time won by the Great Danes. Here they come. Justin Lee, the freshman. And UAlbany respond again. Saw Elijah Gash race in with speed to tie this ball game up. Now the Great Danes trailing once again. Seneca. Back up top to the point. Now fed in. Trying to find some space. Spinning around at X. Another freshman in Peter Salit. A lot of fresh faces for both these sides. Spin move in front of the net. That's saved. Will Mark. The shot from the sharp angle. And Mark was ready for it.
And that's just textbook right there for Mark. He understands the angle that was there from Salit, who, keep in mind, really threw Carter Rice out of his shoes. Phenomenal save there for Mark, getting a huge stop early in this one.
Rice takes it in for the Orange. Spallina at X. Dishes back out. Orange intent on slowing things down. Alexo to the bench. Roa back in. Here is Roa. Off to Carter Kempney, a true freshman. Racing in, got bumped from behind. How about the hit from LaPietro? And that's a turnover. UAlbany staying aggressive. Did that so much in that win last season at Casey Stadium, and that forces the turnover.
And early, they're getting on Kempney, too. Every time he has the ball, he's getting hounded by a couple of Great Danes. UAlbany has to keep that mindset on defense.
Nobody initially picks up Graydon Hogg, and he gets a shot on net. Will Mark again. Making his mark in the early going.
And that's because of the physicality from Landon Clary. The LSM is going to be on Hogg all night. Look for that matchup out on the right wing because Clary brings the physicality as the LSM.
Cole Kirst into the ball game and stands with it. Waiting for the Orange to set up shop. 2-1 the score. Both on goals from Jackson Birtwistle. Kirst, he races in. He tries on net. That shot bounced in. Cole Kirst gets on the board. And the Orange up 3-1.
The grad transfer coming over from Lehigh, wearing the C on the white jersey, making his mark. Getting some sort of a screen there coming from Vinny Trujillo, but easy money once again. And this time it comes from the captain, coming out on the wing, going with the bouncer, and scoring.
The bounce gets the job done. 4 shots for the Orange. 3 of them have found the back of the nets. That's called efficiency.
This is the start that you're looking for, though. Not what we saw last year. It's all about keeping your foot on the gas because this was a UAlbany team that came in with plenty of confidence knowing what happened last year, and just a lot of poise as well because of knowing how last season ended for the Great Danes. Losing season, lost in the semis in the America East semifinals. But if you're the Orange, you're up to the task, and they're showing that right now in these first 6 minutes.
Last season, not up to the standards for either one of these teams. That face-off violation gives UAlbany possession. Silas Richmond, the true freshman from British Columbia, gets the start for Scott Maher. Played for Team Canada and in the World Junior Lacrosse Championships. Holding on to it, the dangerous Thomas Decker had his best game of the season last year against the Orange, a hat trick. Now behind X, who else but Graydon Hogg? Dumped behind the net. Winke at X, rolls around, takes a hit, lowers the shoulder. 35 on the shot clock for the Great Danes. One-on-one with Clary, Graydon Hogg. He lost that ball loose, Orange pick it up. Another college turnover for SU.
That just tells you that the Cuse really did their homework, forcing a yard sale out in that right wing. Not just Clary, but the double team on Hogg as well.
Carter Rice off to Joey Spallina. How do the Orange implement the superstar freshman? That's the question. Gary Gates said after the game, well, trying a little too hard. Has to let the opportunities come to him. And that, of course, one of the main storylines going into tonight's game.
It's all about knowing your role as well. And right now, Spallina's at X, quarterbacking, looking like Stephen Rapis. If that's your role, go with it. That's how you get yourself into the mold of Syracuse lacrosse.
Number 1 overall recruit tried dumping off in front of the net, but that could not find Finn Thompson. Rolling ball picked up by the Orange. How about that ground ball?
That's huge. A little bit of miscommunication in midfield with Nick Kikema and Owen Hiltz, but Kikema luckily enough with his pull, he can putt it.
Thompson led the Orange with 3 points last week, a goal and 2 assists in his first game. Thrown to the ground, Decker all over him. Michael Leo tossed to the turf, but Syracuse holds on to it. 3 to shoot. Orange got to go. Ball loose. And that's a violation. Shot clock ran out. How about the defense from UAlbany?
That's just what you got to do. We talk about physicality with Gary Gates' squad, but UAlbany's got to do the same thing, laying in a couple of shoves. I mean, these freshmen got to get used to college lacrosse. They're still having that welcome to NCAA lacrosse moment, and they're getting it right now from the Great Dane defense.
15 freshmen on this Orange squad. Here come the Great Danes. Alex Pfeiffer, the midi. Both teams seemingly have settled in a little bit, right? Saw those 4 goals early on. UAlbany just looking for a response. Shot in front, Graydon Hogg, he's robbed! Call the cops on a highway robbery. Will Mark.
That's the best way to describe it. That was pinpoint range from Graydon Hogg. More likely than not, he's going to make that shot, but Mark with another big-time save.
That pass somehow found the stick of a Syracuse player, Simmons. How about that?
That was kind of careless passing. Lots of long passes cross field and down the wing. Not often you see that, but hey, the ball is cleared. You'll take it. Now you got to go to work on offense and keep bolstering this lead.
Here come the Orange. Kirst had SU's 3rd goal. Spallina races in. Bouncer, that's in! Joey Spallina. He's arrived. Syracuse by 3.
I'm surprised Spallina had that much range. I mean, you're going to leave Joey Spallina wide open like that? No slide, no anything like that. Coming over from X. See, look, no one picks him up, and it's because Kirst has this screen right there. Spallina making it look so easy and putting the Cuse in front up 3.
On the last time that these two teams faced off, What a ball game inside Casey Stadium for just the third time in program history. The Great Danes picking up a win over the Orange.
And it was the first time it was in Albany. Look how rainy it was. Not the case here in the Dome, obviously. But if you look back at that game, not a single player from that matchup that scored for Syracuse is still on the roster. Mikey Berkman, Tucker Dordovic, Brendan Curry, Jacob Buttermore, all gone. And it led to a party in our state capital.
20 all-time matchups between the teams. 19 of them taking place here inside the Dome. Syracuse has won 17 of them. But that one, that'll stick out like a sore thumb at the bottom, right?
I mean, hey, Albany talked about how it was an unsuccessful season, but that was definitely the exclamation point of 2022. I mean, you want to talk about how fired up these guys were? They were pumped. It was a packed crowd at Casey Stadium, and in those purple jerseys, the Great Danes were amped to get a win over their in-state rival.
One of the highlights of a season where there was a lot to forget for Albany. They finished just 1-5 after that win, 5-10 on the season.
And a forgetful season for Syracuse, too. I mean, it was historically not great.
Orange lost 6 in a row to close things out.
And one of those losses came in Albany.
Right. Palangin now into the offensive third for the Great Danes. Justin Lee, the freshman, worked back to X. This Albany offense gone a little cold after that goal from Elijah Gash that tied things up at 1. Back in front, Jack Pucci. Guarded tightly, fired it way over the nets. And Syracuse wins the race. How about the hustle from Will Mark?
Not often do you see a goalie come out of his cage to try and win that race. But when you have someone like that, that's crucial. That's textbook right there because he understands nobody's at X. He's got to be the one that takes the role. And that's exactly what Mark just did right there.
Owen Hiltz behind the nets. 3 consecutive goals for the Orange. 2 for Jackson Birtwistle, then Cole Kirst, and then the number 1 recruit in the country, Joey Spallina. He gets his 2nd goal in Orange. Hiltz racing in, trying to go on net himself, took a big hit and stepped inside the crease. That's a violation.
Really not much you can do there, but Hiltz was double teamed, almost triple teamed. Albany brought it, and they understand, like, hey, Owen Hiltz wasn't there last year, but we know how good he is. The Great Danes have great understanding of that.
That's someone that you think Scott Marr and his team probably did their homework on.
I would hope so, at least. I mean, it was unfortunate not watching Hiltz last year, but 2 years ago, having him come onto the scene as a freshman, the stick work is really what stands out with Hiltz. Finding shots in pinpoint ranges with hardly any angle. That's where Hiltz stands out.
One of the best statistical seasons in Syracuse lacrosse history for a program that has the rich history of SU as a true freshman. Then missed all of last year, suffering an injury in a preseason scrimmage. That's thrown away by Albany, but they pick up the ground ball. Peter Saline.
Hiltz has got to be quicker to that. He was caught off guard by that ball coming towards midfield. You got to fight for it despite a pole next to you.
Braden Hogg. That is poked away. Can the Orange pick it up? Yes, they can. Will Mark once again. And the Orange with bodies in front, clogging up that lane. Here come the Orange. Rosa tries on that himself, whistles to the left. How about that aggression?
When you can work in transition like Syracuse does historically, I mean, that's what you're looking for, to simply put it. You have the golden chance, not even matchup, go for it. Why not? I mean, you're on Main Street, too.
Orange set it up again. The spin, Cole Kirst. Thought he would try from distance. Now thinks a little better. Griffin Cook racing around, trying to find a lane. Cannot. Hiltz able to pick it up. Looking for Spallina, finds him in that spot behind the net. In front of the net, that bounced. And that got piped, but did not cross the goal line. Luke Rowe with a chance.
It's a great shot, too. I wasn't opposed to that. Give a chance to rip, go for it.
Braden Hogg has been neutralized so far. Can that change? Lost his footing, gathered it. Here he comes in front of the net, missed. As he was lunging to the ground, fired that over the bar.
Didn't matter, though, because he stepped into the crease. Hogg getting a little too excited with his chance because he got by Clary clean. but that right foot got right into the doorstep. That's an easy call for the referee. He was right there looking at the goal line and as well what was going on in front.
It's been quiet so far. The story of that win last season for UAlbany. 4 goals in that victory. Had an 11-game point streak to end the season. The heartbeat of this UAlbany offense.
And the story of this game too, because he's the focal point of this offense. Expected to have another great season. He's one of the best the America East has, Zach.
4-1 the Orange lead. Remember, in the opener, Syracuse didn't score until the second quarter. It was 1-0 Vermont. Took the while for the Orange offense to get going. Spallina with a spin. Can he get a shot on net? Yes, he can. Oh, Joey Spallina makes it look easy.
Downing the 22 as well. The reason why he's so good is because how he can handle one-on-ones. Look at the footwork. The spin gets his man off him. Easy feed. Bouncer, that's true. All day, Joey Spallina is going to hit that.
Not a chance for Max Neeson to try to get in front of him. And the bouncer just tucking it into that lower right corner.
That's why he's the best. 501 career points in high school. I mean, Long Island is known pretty well for its lacrosse, but when you have a record like that, everyone knows you.
And the context is especially important too, right? He's got 2 shots. Both of them have found the back of the net. Last week, that wasn't the case. 15 shots, Trey. Only one of them found twine. That was one of the main talking points after the game. Spallina after the game saying, I just couldn't shoot.
And it comes down to Gary Gay telling his guy, hey, settle down a little bit. Let the game come to you.
Oh my goodness. Gash took a lick right at the midfield line.
That can get a crowd fired up. That's exactly what Cuse needs. Physicality. Bring it.
That physicality has really stymied this UAlbany team.
Weren't expecting it. You can tell.
The Orange have opened up a 5-1 advantage. 4 consecutive goals for SU. Parker Emmett gives off Jack Pucci. 7 seconds left in the period. Got it going for the Great Danes. Shot in front of the net, whistled over it. That's out of play with a second and 1 tick to go. UAlbany wins the race, but they got to go quick here. Fired in front of the net. That went off of the post. Pucci couldn't get really a good look. And that is 15 minutes in the books. 15 minutes maybe you're proud of if you're the Syracuse Orange. 4 consecutive goals to end it. The first 2 from Jackson Birtwistle. 2 goals in the opener, 2 goals in the first quarter. Cuse by 4. It's the Orange by 4, 5-1, heading into the second quarter. And well, the big reason why, Will Mark has been unbelievable.
Making saves like that and, really making life hard for the UAlbany shooters to even find a lane. Mark is making saves left and right. All 3 of the saves that he has right now. Has a chance to keep it going in this second quarter. One that was dominated by UAlbany last year when these 2 faced off.
One ACC Defensive Player of the Week. And you see the look right there. Just a dominant start for him really in both of these games. It was 1-0 Vermont. The difference tonight, Trey, he's getting that offensive support off the back.
Helps when the shot efficiency goes down because last year it really wasn't there. Bobby Gavin faced a boatload of shots throughout every matchup, but the game in 1 quarter into 2023, much different. Mark is making great saves, but also his life is being made a little bit easier by the physical defense and the offense creating more chances.
UAlbany won 5 of the 7 faceoffs in the first quarter. Still loose, Syracuse wins this one. Nearly a quick opportunity. Broke his ankle, shot, that's a goal! That's Syracuse men's lacrosse at its finest. Are you kidding me, Carter Rice?
You want to talk about stepping up, Carter Rice did that, but you got to start right from the top of the face-off. You get the scoop from Sam Alexo, getting the ground ball. Look at the fake. Oh my goodness, where was he going? And Carter Rice coming in right on Main Street to put in the shot and score. That's how you step up right there. This was a short stick D-Midi that we weren't expecting to see much, but with the upper body injury of Brandon Aviles, Rice steps in and takes advantage of his opportunity.
an impact freshman, as someone that did play in all 14 games, but you compare this season to last, he had 1 goal all of last season. Matches that total right there. Syracuse by 5. Opening up some breathing room. Sam Alexo takes possession.
That's the goal of a winger. When that ground ball is there in midfield, that's when the wingers come in. Normally, it was different when you could just check a face-off guy, but with changed rules, it's all about going to get the ground ball, scoop it up, and let your offense go to work. That's something that we've seen from both Sam Alexo and Carter Rice in this one.
Michael Leo with some speed, then took a bump. Got shoved to the ground. Orange maintain it at X. Hiltz in front. Finn Thompson, get to see him get on the score sheet. Syracuse keeps it in the third. Shot in front of the net. What a save. Absolutely robbed. Tommy Heller keeps us at 6-1.
Simmons had a great look, but that was an even better feed from Birtwistle. Has a couple of goals, but Jackson can facilitate pretty well too, last time I checked.
But again, the Great Danes can't clear, and Syracuse will continue to threat. Hiltz with a dodge. Pass in front. What a pass it was. Leo had his pocket picked. That ball went flying in the air, and the Great Danes take it.
Now the question is, can they clear?
Finally, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Chance for just to catch your breath if you're UAlbany. Syracuse has scored 5 consecutive goals. Great Danes set up shop. Graydon Hogg. Scott Marr's team could not find a way to get their leading score of the last 2 years involved in that first quarter. One-on-one with Clarion X. What does he decide to do?
And this is what it has to come down to. Screens left and right to get your guy open and move him around a little bit. That's what UAlbany's doing, but you cannot stop this physicality.
The long pull of Landon Clary, he's all over him. Get it out of Hogg's hands. How about the spin move? Thomas Decker tries on that, the bounce, and the save will mark. That ball loose, picked up by the Syracuse goalie.
Get the ground ball in there too. Now you got to go to work. This is where Syracuse can capitalize on the transition.
Orange on the break. Racing in now behind the net, Jake Murphy, the midi. Spallina. Waiting to make a decision. Syracuse 6, UAlbany 1. The score, game number 2 of the season. For the Orange, looking to improve to 2-0. Be the first time under Gary Gate that they would have done that. Orange won their opener last year, but then fell to number 1 Maryland at home. Shot that rang off the pipe. Cole Kirst nearly had a second.
Almost went bar down with it as well. You could hear that from a mile away.
That was loud.
I mean, Kirst had the advantage. On the stronger side from his vantage point, and ripping it too. Just basically outrunning his defenders out.
Griffin Cook missed 6 games last season. One of the main stories of Syracuse season last year. The injuries just kept on piling up. Spallina just trying to get free. Around the net he comes. That was behind his back and nearly found Twine. My goodness. UAlbany keeps it out. And now here come the Great Danes. Thomas Decker.
Back.
3 goals last season against the Orange. Gives off a shot. That's money. And that's one UAlbany desperately needed. How about the freshman Silas Richmond?
This was a quarter last year that UAlbany dominated. And it was because Griffin Cook just simply didn't get back in time. Richmond makes it look so easy. The sidewinder, and puts his team back onto the scoreboard. That stops a 5 unanswered goal streak right there for the Cuse.
Kakemo trying to get back, trying to get that stick up. It just wasn't in time. Great Danes on the break for what feels like one of the first times all game. And they take advantage of it. Just trying to keep their head above water in this contest. One thing they've done well has been the face-off X. They win another one. Right? Scott Marr said that had to be done to get a win. UAlbany's only got 3 wins ever against Syracuse. One of them a season ago. There has been a intense effort on neutralizing Graydon Hogg in the early going. Syracuse works it out of his hands again. At X, Peter Salit, the junior. Gives off. That fell out of the stick. Alex Pfeiffer. Racing in front of the net. Gets a shot off. That's in! Alex Pfeiffer. How about that goal? It's 2 straight for the Great Danes.
This goal was bound to happen a few moments before he actually ripped it. I mean, Trujillo was late on the slide over here at X, but just a perfect look. Moving to his right,
falling
getting
down.
shoved too. I mean, everything was going wrong there for the Great Danes, but either way, that's 2 straight goals, and they're starting to climb back into this one.
Not laying down. Coming back with a vengeance.
For the face-off.
That's the intensity right there. Got to get fired up. Wasn't the strongest of quarters for you, Albany. Not the way you want to start out for a season.
It's another face-off violation against the Orange.
That's the first flag today. We've seen a clean game throughout.
So because of too many face-off violations, that's a penalty against Johnny Rachusa.
Technical, number 45, legal procedure, 3rd violation, 30 seconds.
7 for 11 from the face-off X. Are you Albany? It's been a battle. 3 face-off violations, as you just heard from the fields. So now the man advantage for the Great Danes.
And this was kind of expected, right? No Jacob Fopp there to be the staple on Syracuse for face-offs. I mean, not really much of an answer right now for the Orange at the battles at the dot. It's been the that's something the Great Danes have won throughout this game, winning it at the X to give your team a chance in the first place.
Albany has cut it to 3 and have an opportunity here. Right in front of the net, Mark. How about that? Another robbery. The LIU transfer has been sensational.
Coming through as well in the 32nd man up. Now you're back to full strength. And if you're Cuse here, you got to work in transition once again.
Here come the Orange in transition. Rosa. That's off to the left. Syracuse wins the race.
How about the snag from Rosa, too? Making the one-handed snag and then putting on the shot because he had a clear opening.
Orange take a timeout. You Albany fighting, scratching, clawing. Syracuse 6, you Albany 3. We step aside. You're on ACC Network Extra.
It's an Orange offensive onslaught. All Syracuse early. Welcome into the studio. Anthony Vasquez here with Luke Schwartz. We'll have the halftime break coming up shortly. But Luke, it was all Syracuse early, but back-to-back goals for the Danes are making it close.
They are 2 straight, all from Silas Richmond and Alex Pfeiffer. But Syracuse, that first game, it was all defense. This one, all offense. And Syracuse trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth.
All right, let's get it back to Trey and Zach in the Dome. We'll be back at halftime.
Anthony, thanks so much. What a ball game we got. Looked like Syracuse was maybe going to pull away a little bit, got a little breathing room. Here come the Great Danes trap.
I mean, this is their season opener. You got to understand that. So it's taken them a little bit to get going. But Scott Marr's group knows what they have. They understand what the task is. They want to start out 2023 strong and get 2022 out of their minds because of how tough it was. Losing season felt to Vermont in the America East semis. Staying in it, though. Getting loose. I mean, you needed that first quarter. Everyone does during a season opener, right?
Here's the superstar Spallina sprinting in himself. Fired on net, score! Joey Spallina. Few in college lacrosse can do what he can do. How about a hat trick?
That was insane. Using his legs on this one at goal line extended. Makes a quick cut. Gets past a couple of defenders. That is too easy going far side for Joey Spallina. If you are going to make him miss like that, good luck. Because there's no way you're going to catch up to number 22.
He was tripped by Max Neeson before he could get that shot off. Falling to the ground. Joey Spallina, he makes it all look easy. How would the freshman respond? There's so much pressure on the #1 recruit in all of college lacrosse. 15 shots, 1 goal against Vermont. Today, it has been an entirely different story. 4 shots, 3 of them have been goals.
I think you could say he's settled in.
That's a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
The legacy of 22 here at Syracuse. Joey Spallina showing you why you're in that number. Syracuse racing in again. Lead back up to 4. Spallina at X. Back out to the point. Cole Kurse, he's got a goal tonight. Does he look for another one? Now backing off. Straight away. Roa with a shot. Bring it in. My goodness, Luke Roa. The first goal of his career.
This was an exceptional opportunity here for Cuse, and Roa understands, hey, I have a shot, why not take it? He pings it off the crossbar after getting the feed. Nobody there marking him or anything like that. It's too easy for the freshman. You take advantage on that any day of the week. That's exactly what the freshman did. He's getting fired up by his teammates on the sideline.
How about the reaction from Alex Simmons? His teammates so fired up. What a moment. The first career goal for the freshman.
For the face-off.
Figured it was only a matter of time, right? Comes from the #1 program, what's considered in all of high school lacrosse.
When you're a team that's
St.
young
John's.
like Syracuse, too, you gotta, you gotta live up to the task, right?
That lead was down to 3 for the Orange. Hey, it's back up to 5. 8-3 Cuse. Closing in on 8.5 left before the halftime break. Roa again, here he comes. Being guarded well, La Pietro, all in his face. Hackadex Roa. Faked a shot, and in the process of that jump fake, he lost the ball. La Pietro picks it up. Really an unforced mistake for the Orange. TJ Sheehan, transfer from Denver, and a teammate of Alex Simmons. Former teammate. Albany trying to manufacture a response again. Great Danes have been playing from behind for almost the entirety. Justin Lee with a spin, bounces. Will Mark says, I don't think so. Racing for it, behind his own net. Oh, you gotta be careful if you're the Orange. But up to the long pole, Clary, and the Orange clear.
That was huge from Finn Thompson, just getting a stick up there and collecting.
Here they come. Spin from Murphy. That ball loose, who comes up with it? Right by the line, Hiltz. How about that awareness? Boxed out, almost like you do in basketball.
Sometimes you just gotta let it go.
Right in front of the net, Alexo off the post. Seemingly from nowhere, that opportunity just sprouted up. On the break, Elijah Gash. He's got a goal to his name tonight. Back up top, Jack Pucci at the point. A goal and an assist last year against SU for the junior from Long Island. To the long pole of Jake Pacino. Syracuse 8, Albany 3, 6.5 remaining in the first half. Zach Letson, Trey Redfield with you from the JMA Wireless Dome. Braden Hogg, yet to get on the score sheet today, been one of the main stories of why it's a 5-goal advantage. Does not have the space. Clary has been outstanding on him. Declan Palangin, he's guarded well by Rosa. That shot, not nearly close. Race is out, and the race won by Sheehan.
He got decked as well. How about Kakemo just laying the lumber on him, man? That was a huge hit.
Sheehan behind the net. Races in front himself. Nowhere to go. Looking for an opening, finds it, but whistles it wide to the right. Back out of bounds again. We'll do it again, but hey, now just 15 ticks remaining on the shot clock.
Yeah, you got to go quick here if you're Albany. Find that screen and fire immediately.
Pfeiffer with a goal tonight already. Palangin, 6, 5 seconds right into the nets of Will Mark. He has been fantastic today. Give him save number 6.
just hasn't been quality shots from Albany, and that was the case right there. He was getting hounded. That's an easy save for Mark all day because he knows it's coming, because he understands the shot clock as well. Just 3 seconds left to shoot on that chance from the Great Danes.
Carter Rice brings it back to midfield with Alexo heading to the bench. Back in Cole Kirst. Races in himself down the alley and now back behind the net. Orange by 5, trying to extend it before the break. Griffin Cook spins around. Oh, he nearly had Joey Spallina, but the Orange hold on to it. 35 to shoot. Pass in front of the net. Griffin Cook. Nearly a highlight reel play and then got bodied to the ground.
And he stepped over as well. Cook lost his bucket too. I mean, this is what Gary Gate likes, the creativity. Cook getting the shot off, but getting shoved in the process. How about this, though?
Unbelievable. In the blink of an eye, it's another Orange goal. Hiltz and the Orange making it a 6-goal advantage.
I mean, that's just how quickly they work. Hiltz gets it, sticks it. That's what he does best. He understands where he's going to go with the ball already before he even has it. Visualizing the attack, that's what the Canadian does. Quick stick shot, quick stick score, and now it's leading to a goalie change for the Great Danes.
How about that? It's Jack Van Valkenburg who checks in for Tommy Heller. 9 goals for the Orange. You want to talk about an offensive statement. Syracuse had 7 goals the entire game in the opener. Face off, that's won by a moment by Pucci. Then Landon Clary picks up the ground ball. Being hounded from behind by Richmond, but Clary holds on to it.
He almost lost his footing when crossing it to midfield and clearing for the Cuse too.
New Albany on the ride, but Syracuse now can set up shop. Thompson. Hiltz getting on the score sheet for the first time today. Goal number 2 on the season. Ball loose. Who gets the ground ball? A scrum for it. Picked up by the Great Danes. Now here they come on the break. Pacino. The long stick mini. Back in his hometown from Liverpool. Braden Hogg. He has an opening. Slowing things down. One-on-one with Kakema.
That opening was weak side, though. That's why you didn't take it.
The long stick of Nick Kakema. Syracuse has come prepared so far on Hogg. Hogg in front of the net, that found nobody. Silas Richmond, the intended target, racing all the way back to the end line. After 9 goals, a new man in between the pipes, Jack Van Valkenburg.
Going back to that rotation that we've talked about a lot in this broadcast, Zach. It was 3 goalies last year that saw action. Van Valkenburg, Ramos, and then Heller. But right now it's Van Valkenburg that gets his shot against the Cuse.
It's a Syracuse timeout. Just 1 remaining. A 6-goal advantage for Syracuse, sending a statement with their freshman, the number 1 recruit in all of college lacrosse, Joey Spallina. He's got a hat trick and has done so on 4 shots.
And that guy, Scott Barr, is having a struggle with trying to figure out what you do with Joey Spallina. He's just so fun to watch. He moves so quickly, understands what to do with it before he shoots. I mean, he has it at X. That's where he's been working throughout the day. Amazing footwork leads to chances like this for him to score and win his one-on-one battle. Speaking of one-on-ones, he can easily run by his guy, make a cut, money. And this guy's a hat trick already.
In the blink of an eye for this Orange team. And again, 15 shots in the opener. 1 was a goal.
And look how efficient he is today.
Just a little different.
3 goals, 4 shots. You want to talk about just lowering your shoulders a little bit. Taking a deep breath, letting the game come to you, and then you take advantage. That's what Joey's doing right now.
The freshman from Long Island, continuing the legacy of 22. Number 1 recruit in the class. Over 500 points in his high school career. I mean, the expectations for this young fella were through the roof, and delivering so far here tonight.
And he said post-game against Vermont, he simply just couldn't shoot. But right now, he can shoot. And it's a good thing that he, along with many other freshmen, are getting these chances now, getting these boosts of confidence in the moment before the gauntlet comes up. the one that Gary Gate finds a way to schedule, and people are wondering, can this team do this? I mean, you had Vermont last week, UAlbany today, Holy Cross on Sunday, and right after that, Maryland in College Park. That's tough. That's the defending national champion that you're facing right there.
The number 2 Terps, the number 19 North Carolina. Going gets tough after this one for Syracuse. You need all the wins you can get.
The ACC, there's no one better.
Syracuse starts with it. In the offensive third, Spallina. Alex Simmons, 2 assists tonight for the Denver transfer. 1 goal in the season opener for him. Spallina, can he get free in front of the net? Behind his back again. It's the second time we've seen him try that. Val Veckenberg on the clear. Here comes UAlbany Hahn, looking for his first goal. In front of the net, the spin move. Sheehan cannot get free. How about Caden Cole? He forces UAlbany to reset here. Cole getting the start, the redshirt sophomore. 2 caused turnovers in that win, a game all about defense for the Orange. Syracuse has won 67 straight games when holding opponents to under 10 goals.
Yeah, let's limit to talk about the offense. The defense needs some love as well. They've been showing it in this quarter, in this game and a half this year in 2023.
Decker, loud against the Orange last year, quiet tonight so far. Under 30 to shoot. Racing in front of the net. Wiki with a shot. Will mark again. Has he been a brick wall or what?
Got to give credit to this defense as well. Not letting UAlbany take quality shots, and it's leading to transition chances like this one.
Alexa wide open. The shot whistles above the net. That took a ping. That hit the metal bleachers. You want to talk about a fastball, Owen Hills.
Just the way he, the submariner, sidewinder type shot that he goes with. That's all handwork right there. Strong forearms lets you rip it like what Owen Hills does. Take notes, kids, because Owen Hills can bring it with the shot.
He just picked up his first goal. That made it a 6-goal advantage. Shot in front of the nets. Out of the stick of Roa. And that misses. Great Danes just need a clearance more than anything.
Van Valkenburg's just looking for an option to get it across midfield.
The long pole of Piscino. Van Valkenburg waiting all the way down by 25 yards away. Pucci. Couple of substitutions here for the Great Danes. Pelangin back in. Braden Hahn without a point so far tonight. Dodging 15 yards away, it's Pelangin. Only made 1 start last year. Seeing real action right now. Pucci racing in front, but Alexo hounding him. You see in that long stick go to work. And there's just nothing UAlbany's been able to do. How about the spin? Graydon Hogg to the net. That shot, and scored. Graydon Hogg, right on cue. The leading UAlbany scorer from the last 2 seasons. He's on the board. And finally, a highlight for the Great Danes to cut it to 5.
That's the momentum that UAlbany needs going into the halftime break. A great spin move from Hogg, and jumping in the process as well. That's just been how tough it is for the Great Danes to find a look. And finally, Graydon finds it with the 5-hole as well, doing whatever he can to score. Beating the double team and getting past a goalie that has been stout in his young season in Will Mark.
That was really threading the needle on the short side to find that little edge. Graydon Hogg. Just an encouraging sign for Mars' team more than anything else.
And Hogg himself, too. That's the confidence that you need in your season opener.
Piscino with a head of steam. Got to go. Only 13 seconds left in the half. Hogg again. Straight away, but back out to the points. Things have got to pick up here for UAlbany. 5 seconds. Decker. What does he decide to do? Clock running down. He's hounded. And that's the end of half number 1. A fitting way to end it. Jake Murphy making that stop. Gary Gate, he's got to be pleased. Syracuse 9, Albany 4 at the break. The Orange sending a message. 9 goals for SU. Up by 5 as we hit the halftime break.
It's an Orange offensive onslaught in the JMA Dome. Syracuse with a 5-goal lead on Albany, 9-4 your score. And with that, we welcome you guys into the ACC Network Halftime Show. Anthony Vasquez, Luke Schwartz here in our Newhouse studios. And Luke, let's get right into it. Syracuse built that early lead in the first half, then came Albany, and then Syracuse really put it on late in that first half.
You really have to credit Joey Spallina. My goodness, has he lived up to the hype. 3 goals, a hat trick for the freshman, and this Syracuse offense is just cruising.
So let's see how SU built that lead early on. It was Jackson Birtwistle drawing first blood 35 seconds in, finding the back of the cage, and then Albany strikes back. Elijah Gash answers the bell. The long pole evens it up.
Long pole goal last year for Albany with Jake Pacino, and then Gash says, you know what, I want a piece of that action.
Then Jackson Birtwistle wants a piece of that action. Finding the back of the net again, makes it 2-1 with 11 minutes to go. And then here comes the avalanche of goals for Syracuse. Cole Kirst, the midi who just transferred in from Lehigh, he scores his first goal with the Qs. That makes it 3-1. And then on defense, it's Will Marks.
Will Mark, my goodness, 13 saves last week against Vermont. He has been so solid as the netminder for Syracuse.
And then back to the offense, it's the highly touted recruit, Joey Spallina. Gates said he was trying too hard. He was making it look easy here, though. Up by 3 with 6 minutes left, and then Joey Spallina striking again. His first multi-goal game with the Qs, and then start of the second quarter at Syracuse again on offense.
Syracuse just continued to dominate the pipeline, and then Carter Rice, he put the brakes on and then scores that one from a few feet away.
Now with the Danes in desperate need of a goal, they finally get it here with Silas Richmond ringing in the cage, and then it's Alex Pfeiffer making back-to-back goals for the Danes.
This is exactly what the Great Danes needed, a little momentum, some shift for the purple and yellow.
Danes starting to creep back, but then it's Albany's worst nightmare again. Joey Spallina, a first-half hat-trick.
Just outside the crease, takes the contact, leans through it, and still finds a way to score.
And if you're a freshman on this squad, it's your lucky day. Look at that shot by Luke Roa, his first goal for the Qs. That makes it 8-3, and then it's the usual suspect, Owen Hills, continuing a 3-0 run for the Qs.
He was greatly missed a season ago, and then this one. Scored in last week's game and again today.
So Albany does get that goal by Hogg to put himself on the board. Syracuse with that 5-goal lead. What stands out to you here, Luke?
Syracuse really doing a great job of 15 shots along with 6 saves for the Orange, too, because Will Mark is just doing an unbelievable job of staying solid and centered in the goal right now.
And Orange doing a great job of limiting those turnovers as well. 10 in the first half against Vermont in the first game, only 7 here, and that leads them to a 5-goal lead. When we come back on the ACC Network Halftime Show, we'll be joined by Nick Zelaya, who's over in Arizona for the Super Bowl. Plus, Luke will give us the keys to the second half for both Albany and Syracuse when we come back. It's all Syracuse at the break. A 9-4 lead on the Albany Great Danes. It's all Orange so far on offense. Hey, welcome back to the Newhouse Studios. Anthony Vasquez, Luke Schwartz here for this one. And Luke, let's take a little bit of break from lacrosse. Are you excited for the Super Bowl?
Oh, cannot wait. It's a little bit of Eagles, some Chiefs, and some chips and queso. I can't wait for that.
Who loves a Super Bowl party, right? Well, while we're here in our Newhouse Studios, Nick Zelaya was in Arizona to catch up on the plethora of stories. Listen in.
Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, final day here on Radio Row at Super Bowl Media Week. It's been a crazy week. Lots of guests on our Z89 show. We've been able to tell so many great stories for both the Eagles and the Chiefs. For me, I want to give you a little sneak peek of one of my stories for today about Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th-round pick out of Rutgers, has an excellent rookie season, finishes with 850 yards on the ground, a starting running back for a Super Bowl contending team. You can check out that story at Newhouse Sports on Twitter. Awesome to talk to him, talk to some of his teammates, guys on the Eagles, Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, about what they've seen, his growth throughout this season. So make sure you stay tuned to that story, all of our work to finish up what was an excellent week here at Radio Row. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Nick. Hope you're enjoying the nice weather down in Arizona. But Luke, let's get it back to lacrosse. Albany down by 5 at the break. What did they need to do to come back into this game?
Well, I started off with a movie reference. If anyone has ever seen the movie Benchwarmers, you know the scene where they're taking a hot potato out of the oven and Clark grabs it and it starts to burn his hand, which means Albany needs to do a better job of getting the ball out of their stick quicker, because that allows their offense to displace Syracuse's defense. The slides can't happen quickly enough, and then that way Albany is able to take over on that offensive side.
So Albany down by 5 going into the break like we mentioned. But Luke, what does Syracuse have to do to continue its strong start, carry it over to the second half, and win its second game of the year?
It's 2 words and 1 player. It's number 22, Joey Spallina. He's got 3 goals, the hat trick coming over from Long Island. The kid is really doing good in this one. A little bit slow in that first game against Vermont, but now he's showing out. And then Syracuse really needs to do a better job of pressuring the attackman for Albany. A little bit of a run there late. Graydon Hogg scored late there in the second quarter. So if Syracuse can keep playing that stout defense, they will look really good in this second half.
So, look, let's talk a little bit more about Joey Spallina here. He only had that 1 goal against Vermont. Everyone is saying, what's going on here? Joey Spallina should be scoring a lot more. It looks like he's really finding his footing in his second game.
Well, we're talking about a freshman here, a guy that comes in with a lot of hype, a lot of expectations. And so he's got that weight carried on his shoulders. But he's really showing out in his second game. If anyone expected Michael Jordan to do what Joey Spallina is doing in just his second game of his college career, then we'd all be a little bit shocked. So 3 goals. He's got 4 in his college career. He's really translating from that high school field to now the D1 field, and that's why the Orange are up.
Well, another player stepping up for Syracuse is Cole Kurtz, the broadcast journalism grad student. We're all rooting for him over in the newsroom. What have you seen from him so far?
Journalism, schmurnalism. Cole Kurtz has been that guy out there. He came into this one with 55 career goals, make it 56, and his first wearing the orange. And guess what? He was selected as a captain for a reason, because he's a guy that motivates, he's a true leader, and someone you really want to play for.
Oh, the transfer from Lehigh is really showing out as well. But let's go back to this Albany side. They made that goalie change late in that second half. What do you expect for the Great Danes coming out?
Well, it's Jack Van Valkenburg, who only played in 6 games last year and made 1 start against UMass where he had 15 saves. So you're going to try and do some different things defensively, because so far that first half really didn't work. So you put somebody else as the netminder, change a few things and adjustments on the defensive side, and we'll see if the Great Dane train can get back on track.
Well, how does a Great Dane train get back on track with that defense? What kind of adjustments do they have to make here?
Well, it has to be their go-to guy, Graydon Hogg. He had 4 goals last year against Syracuse. This team was second in the AEC in terms of assists, so being able to spread the ball out, but finding 45. He's a guy that can weave through the defense smooth like butter, so get it to him.
Well, Hogg is going to need to be smooth like butter in the second half if Albany wants to get back in this game. Syracuse, the 9-4 lead. He's Luke Schwartz. I'm Anthony Vasquez. We'll see you in the post-game. Second half is coming up right after this.
Oh, Anthony, thanks so much. The Orange by 5. Really setting a statement in that first half, especially from an offensive standpoint, Trey. 7 goals in the opener. How about 9 in the first half?
It's pretty good, right? Last time I checked, that's pretty darn good. It's because Owen Hiltz and company are dominating offensively.
Owen Hiltz nets his 2nd goal of the season, and what word that came out right before the game started, Trey, it's a big one. The Tewaaraton watch list. And Owen Hiltz, who had an unbelievable freshman season, then remember, did not play at all last season, sustained that injury in the preseason scrimmage. He's back, and he's getting recognition.
These are just ACC players on this list. Keep in mind, look how many there are, though. I mean, that's just how stout of a conference this is. Everyone from the ACC is represented. Lots of Virginia Cavaliers in there, but Hiltz getting the nod. That just tells you how much respect college lacrosse has on Hiltz, despite missing all of last year with an injury.
Second half set to get underway. It was Hiltz off that very quick feed from the end line.
Yep.
That found Twine. That was Syracuse's most recent goal.
That's how he works. When the game is quicker, Owen Hiltz is in an even better spot. And that's what Syracuse needs to look for. More transition work so Hiltz can get that quick stick shot and potentially a quick stick score.
29 goals in that true freshman season. Great Danes win the faceoff, but Piscino can't hold on to it. Instead, the ground ball picked up by Alexo. Ground ball number 17 for the Orange so far tonight. Can Q set the tone here in half number 2. Both teams exchanged goals to start this game. It was Jackson Birtwistle with the first 2 goals for the Orange, but in between them, Elijah Gash got UAlbany on the board. Checking in, Michael Leo. He got the start at Nitty. Racing down the alley, now back out. Leo. Guarded tightly. Syracuse has to back up Rice at the point. Behind the back pass, Hiltz. Oh my goodness. Nearly an unbelievable goal. But how about that save? Jack Van Valkenburg, the backup goalie.
I mean, you may wonder, like, why is Syracuse going with all these behind-the-back shots? Well, it's because they can, and they're good at it. That's what Gary Gate wants. When he was here on this field, it was all about creativity. He's finding guys that have the same idea, whether you're wearing 22 or you're from north of the border.
Figure it this way, one of them's got to go in at some point, right?
Oh, it will. It will. It'll happen. I don't have money on it, but it'll happen.
Langin with a flag down on the fields. So as soon as it touches a Syracuse stick, it'll be whistled dead. That nearly went into the net.
Or when it crosses the end line like what it just did.
Right.
So it's a chance for UAlbany to really grab a spark, something that it really needs to start out this second half. Not sure what exactly the penalty was. Didn't get the best look at it. We'll find out here in just a couple of seconds, though.
Let's go down to the fields.
White, number 9. Technical, offsides, 30 seconds.
The offsides against Jackson Birtwistle. So it's the second time that UAlbany gets the man advantage. Orange yet to do so today, but now Syracuse will have to try to kill it off.
This is a 30-second advantage for UAlbany. So most likely what it's going to be is just one shot. We saw this in the second quarter. Will Mark made a great save. Let's find out if he does it again.
Pucci at the points. Around the world go the Great Danes. When does that shot come? Here it comes. Pucci, bouncer, scores! That's how you take advantage, on the man advantage. Jack Pucci finding Twine, just like he did a year ago against Syracuse. Cuts it to a 9-5 score.
And you can hear the pooch coming across on the right side with all the Albany crowd coming in. Had it at point-blank range, go with the bouncer. That's been the struggle today for Will Mark. He's been saving the shots that have been coming through air. But when it's been bouncing, it's been kind of a caveat against the goalie from that transferred from LIU.
That was near a spike. Took a hard bounce. That's exactly what you can do in the JMA Wireless Dome with the turf. Not like they're playing at Casey Stadium like last year.
Where it was raining.
Slightly different conditions. It was 40 degrees, pouring rain, windy, and Syracuse bore the brunt of that in a bad way. And that's awarded to UAlbany. The long pole of Piscino all the way across field to Jack Van Valkenburg. Came into the middle of that second quarter after Hilt scored Syracuse's 9th goal. The Orange have not netted a goal since the change.
It's a change of pace, right? Gives you something different. Tells you that Syracuse may not have had much prep on Van Valkenburg as they did Hilt. And that happens. Never know when your opponent's going to make that move.
Solit to X, 16 on 16. Little spinorama. Now back behind the net, trying to dodge. Sheehan with a shot, and that's wide to the right. Under 40 on the clock. The race won by the 6'1 midfielder Decker.
And the reason why the shot clock doesn't go back down, never hit pipe or never hit mark. So if it misses wide and hits nothing, then it remains at where it was, and that was 35 seconds.
Sheehan at X. Had a screen from Decker. Spins back. Sharp angle shot that hit the post. Or did it whistle right over it? It did. My goodness. That is point blank. And nearly goal number 6, TJ Sheehan. He's trying to net his first goal of his career.
Syracuse, those have been the angles that they've been offering. Not many great looks for the Great Danes.
Decker tossed aside, Hogg with a shot. That took a deflection way into the air. That's awarded to UAlbany. 12 seconds to go. Great Danes got to hustle. 6 as it's found Peter Salit. Got to go with 3 seconds. No time to find space. That shot whistles wide. Shot clock violation. That's the defense, the grit, the intensity, the energy. It's all being brought by this orange side.
Physicality as well.
Yep.
Not giving you Albany any good looks. That's one of the keys from Coach Marr. Take quality shots. You Albany's pound shots, but there's the key adjective before shots. Quality. Hasn't been there today for the Great Danes. And it's because of this orange defense that deserves some respect.
Like you said, not really necessarily the quantity, but the quality. Shots are nearly even both sides. Roa, he scored the first goal of his career in half number 1. Goal line extended, now back out. Hiltz. Cole Kirst fires on net and scores. Cole Kirst, why not?
Defense leads to offense. That's where Syracuse strives, and that's where they've looked so good this year. You see the turnover here to start off. Swinging with the stick. Getting the physicality. Leads to the shot clock violation. Then you go to the other side. Cole Kirst finally has the lane that he's looking for. The slide is late, and the grad student takes advantage. This is where he works so well out in the wing. It's money each and every time you give Cole Kirst at least an inch. He's going to take advantage, and now he has 2 goals on the night.
3-point night. The transfer from Lehigh introducing himself to this orange faithful.
Welcome to the party.
Syracuse doubling up UAlbany, 10-5. Nearly 5 minutes played in the second half. Orange control off the faceoff. Clary went all the way cross field. A little reckless, but it finds Owen Hiltz.
It was just still a great find. Going cross field like that, he's looking like Garrett Schrader with a lacrosse ball.
Rosa off the field. Griffin Cook waiting for that substitution. Who else? Cole Kirst. Griffin Cook looking for space, centering feet in front of the net. Scored! The Orange with another one. Who else? Joey Spolina, number 4.
Efficiency is the key to victory. That's what Joey Spolina has right now. 4 goals on 5 shots. Coming in on the wraparound at X. No one saw that coming. It leads to Spolina moving to his right and getting the easy score. Look how quickly he does it. Quick spin, ping, got it. That's money all day. And with someone like Joey Spolina, who has great footwork and even better speed, he's going to take advantage. 1 more away from a Yahtzee.
Well, if you didn't already know about Joey Spolina, which it'd surprise me if you didn't, now you do. Number 4 on the day. Boy, is he introducing himself after just 1 in the opener.
He may have already introduced himself for his career out on Long Island.
Right. Now more so to the Central New York crowd, the Syracuse crowd.
Remember, you gotta understand, New York is a big state.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the island.
UAlbany, a 6-goal hole. Looking for that response. Seneca. He's in a one-on-one. Being hounded. Murphy all over him. Spinorama for Graydon Ha. Got on the score sheet right before halftime. 9.5 left in quarter number 3. Ha goes tumbling to the ground. That's a penalty against the Orange.
That's going to go against Landon Clary as well.
Well, that's the first time today we've seen the defense from Clary been sensational to neutralize Graydon Hogg, but that time a little too aggressive.
And go over the top, basically, when we're looking for, right? I mean, Landon's been offering the physicality all game. And Petromile offering some words as well.
Wait, 30, cross-check, the head, 1 minute, full time.
And so for the first time today, it's a 1-minute penalty. 2 for 30 seconds, now 1.
Said cross-check to the head. I mean, it slid up on the back of the jersey, and Hogg pushed a little bit with that head more, doing whatever he can to have an opportunity like this. Let's see if UAlbany takes advantage.
Pucci again, he had a goal, the last man advantage for UAlbany. That ball rolls out. Sheehan plays it back in. 42 seconds remaining. Shot on net, that bounced in. Unfortunate bounce for Will Mark. Fortunate for Silas Richmonds. The freshman has a goal to cut it back down 11-6.
I thought this was going to be a chance for Graydon Hogg to take advantage, knowing Landon Clary isn't out there. But I don't even think that was expected from Richmond. It got blocked, it got deflected, and it led to a late reaction from Mark. That's unfortunate.
Threw off the timing of Will Mark. Got his body in front of it. Was put on his backside, but by the time he was, then the shot started to bounce in.
Well, that's why you saw him try to swing it with the goalie stick. It was late. I didn't see the deflection there in the first place. And just a reminder, it is not a releasable penalty. On the cross check, 2 to head. So Clary still sits for 33 more seconds.
It's an opportunity for the Great Danes to score early enough in the man advantage. You got another chance.
And now you just have to capitalize here once again. You want to find your way back into it. Do what you've been doing that's worked so well. Score on the man advantage, whether it's been 30 seconds or 60.
Straight away, it's Pucci. Threw it away. Unforced mistake. He was just not on the same page with Keelan Seneca.
That's something that Syracuse did a lot last year. Lots of unforced errors when this game was at Albany. And it was the Great Danes that was taking advantage. Here in 2023, completely different. We may have case in point right here with Carter Rice crossing midfield.
Rice sprinting in, no one picks him up all the way to the net, and he scores! Way too easy. Carter Rice all the way home. We'll check the flag. Carter Rice puts it into the back of the net.
I mean, just look at the way his helmet is up a little bit. He got a little bit of a push right after scoring on the doorstep. Let's get a listen in on what it is, though.
Goal is good. Blue 91, unnecessary roughness. Dead ball foul. That's 1 minute. It's going to be one foul. Dead ball foul. Get in the box.
Instructing Syracuse on what to do. It's a 1 minute penalty against Elijah Gash. The man advantage now for the first time all game for Syracuse.
I mean, you want to talk about taking advantage? That's what's case in point right there. Getting decked after it. Carter Rice stepping up on the opportunity without Brandon Avila's there. That's just so easy. No one was there to pick him up. You see a guy streaking down the field. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be you. It could be me. It could be Carter Rice. Somebody's got to pick him up, going right to the doorstep.
Let's go, Dean.
Gash cheering on his team, but has to do so from the bench. The first penalty all game against UAlbany. Syracuse has 3 of them. First time this man advantage can go to work. Hiltz. Syracuse sets up shop. Oh, the backhander in! Luke Roa, how do you do? Burt Whistle, excuse me, he's got a hat trick. My goodness. Jackson Burt Whistle. What a game for Jackson Burt Whistle. The first 2 goals of the game. Now he gets his 3rd.
This was nasty. I mean, the wraparound, top right corner, too easy for Burt Whistle. How about a hat trick?
Welcome to the JMA Wireless Dome, and welcome to the Jackson Burt Whistle Clinic. It's a hat trick for number 9, the first 2 goals of the game, setting the tone for Syracuse. And then, how about that bar down? And then right here, this might be Trey, SC Top 10 worthy.
Well, there's a lot of them that should be going SC Top 10. That one, I think, has the best shot, though. Burt Whistle getting creative, ringing it off pipe. He's going to do whatever he can to score. I mentioned it during the break. The efficiency. 3 shots, 3 goals. It's just how it goes for the Midi.
He was the only player in the Vermont game to net multiple goals for Syracuse. Someone that ended last year scorching hot. 13 goals in the last 4 games. Orange win the faceoff. Here they come. Alexo, body to the ground. That physicality making the difference for the Great Danes.
didn't really like that feed to Alexo. Everyone swarmed in. He immediately got triple teamed when he had it in his cross.
Now a chance for the Great Danes on the other end. How can the Orange prevent on the ride? Because this is a UAlbany team that, so far in the third quarter, it's been more of a struggle to get it going from an offensive standpoint. Pucci, right alley, bounced it in. Jack Pucci yet again. He's got a multi-goal evening. 13-7 with 7 minutes to play in the third.
The Long Islander getting it done. A couple of Islanders getting it going here. And it's over Pucci, who has the easy look. Alexo doing whatever he can to have one last save. Nobody there. Pucci completely unmarked. And it actually bounced off of Will Mark's stick. He's there to make saves, but it's just the deflections that are hurting him.
5-game point streak to end last year for Pucci, including that Syracuse game. Goal and an assist. He's got 2 goals tonight. Orange win the faceoff. Here they come, looking for a response and saved. Awfully quickly, it was the faceoff man himself, Rashusa, that tried on net.
That's what you like to see. I mean, there's so much talk about it coming into this. First, Jacob Pop, how's he going to handle? You know, he's with him out there. Who's going to be the guy? I mean, I think we're starting to figure it out. Rashusa is starting to mold into this role. And he almost won the faceoff and scored. That's what you look for in a faceoff guy.
UAlbany into the offensive third. Palangin just over the net. That was a cannon. And UAlbany backs it up. Sheehan will play it in. Plenty of time for UAlbany to reset, trying to get this down to a 5-goal game. Sheehan at X receives a screen. Spin move to the net. That's way over it. Racing, the dive. It stays with the Great Danes.
Love the effort. You gotta love the effort. Both of them diving.
That's what it's all about. You
leave
it all out there on the turf.
Can't give credit to one guy.
That's about as close as it's going to get. And Sheehan's coming up hobbling. And now it's awarded to the Orange. How about that turn of events? That's why you lay it all out there. And Scott Mars incensed at that call.
I mean, this is one of the most exciting plays, arguably. That's insane. And you can see the stick is out there farther than the other one. Got to give a lot of credit to Dylan Segeter.
The lunging attempts. Mar was upset at that call being reversed. Here's a flag. It's a delayed penalty against UAlbany.
And remember, the play stops unless a goal is scored, scooped up by a defensive cross, or ball crosses the end line on a shot. So they're going to keep going with this.
Alex Simmons, pass inside, and that nearly went. Oh, Finn Thompson looking for his first of the day. That brings us to the penalty.
Blue, 1 minute, unsportsmanlike on the bench, full-time third, 1 minute.
Unsportsmanlike on the bench. Yeah, because I didn't see anything on the other side of the field.
Scott Marr was incensed at that call being reversed, the possession being awarded to Syracuse, giving an earful to the officials.
Let's see if the flag comes out.
He's warning him, saying you better stop or that flag's going to be pulled. Sure enough, it was.
And Marr's been drawing all game.
Orange on the man advantage for a minute. Right in front of the net. That's how you do it. That's number 5. Joey Spolina have a night. 14-7 Cuse.
Bouncing back is something that Joey Spolina has done. Left unmarked once again. No slide, no nothing. Yahtzee. 5 for Spolina. I mean, look at this. Nobody's there. This is one of, if not the best players in lacrosse. And you're leaving him out to dry. Nobody on him. And a reminder, this man advantage is still a thing. It's not releasable for an unsportsmanlike. So you got 48 more seconds of your Syracuse to keep piling it on.
At this point, you think he'll probably also end up on the Tewaaraton watch list too, right?
I sure hope so, because he deserves it. If he keeps having games like this, if he can keep showing out against those tough opponents, he definitely can.
Here come the Orange again. Hilt scores! My goodness, 2 in the blink of an eye. Syracuse. Boy, are they off and running in this second half.
That was so quick. So quick. We're going to step 1, win the faceoff. Sambalexo takes it. You think he's going to have a pole goal, right? Nope. Find the open guy on the wing. Bam.
Owen Hiltz. Number 2 on the night. That's a timeout on the field. Marr continuing the discussion with the officials. But Syracuse has opened up its largest lead all night. Orange by 8. The discussion continues. Syracuse 15, Albany 7, all thanks to the man on your screen, number 22, a 5-goal game. Trey, continuing that legacy of number 22.
Powell brothers, Gary Gate, Joey Spallina.
Pretty good list.
Last time I checked, that's not good. Here we go. Here's the actual list. Casey, Ryan, Mike, Joey Spallina in there. Gary Gate was the one that started it. Got the numbers and the rafters. I just wish we got like an Eric Gate goal. I think that's the one thing we're missing right now from Joey Spallina.
Spallina with 1 goal in the opener tonight has been a much, much different story. 5 goals for the freshman, the number 1 recruit in the entire country. He's proven why he's gotten that mark.
Just letting the game come to him, right? I mean, the vision, the awareness, understanding what he has in front of him. I mean, that's why he's worked at X so much, to see the game in front of him. The footwork is there. The stick skill is there. Just having the understanding of where you are on the field is phenomenal from Spallina. Look at that.
There's
the bouncer, man. I mean, he goes everywhere with it. You can't stop this guy.
What an evening for number 22, for the freshman. And what's remarkable, of course, the 5 goals, but how about that tally on the right? He had 15 shots in the opener. That's less than half than that.
I mean, what have we talked about all night, right? What's the one word that we've been saying a lot? Efficiency.
Right.
Efficiency. It's there for the freshman. I mean, the fact that you're finding that as young as you are in just your second collegiate game, I mean, that takes a lot. That just understands how skilled of a player you are. And Joey Spallina really has the opportunity to show that for the next 4 years, if you include this one in his freshman season.
That non-releasable, unsportsmanlike penalty. So Syracuse still has the man advantage for another 30. Orange setting up shop. It's an 8-goal lead for the first time all evening. Leo and Thompson on the field here for SU checking in. 13 to go on the power play. Just over 60 to shoot. Hiltz, does he wind it up again? Pass in front of the net. Leo, he was wronged. Oh, bodies in front of the net. Kept that ball out. Orange reset, but the penalty is over. Burnt whistle, and Spallina fighting for it. As well as McNichols, and finally picked up by the Great Danes, who can take a deep breath and now work this ball out.
Haven't seen a lot of that today. Clearing the ball. Worked well. I mean, that's just something that Gary Gates talked about a lot. He wants that ride to be stout. That's what we've seen, I mean, growing up watching John Desco's teams. The physicality that you bring on the other side of the field to give your team more chances. That's what the Orange have done today with a different man leading the way, a legend in Gary Gate.
Pucci with a multi-goal evening. Guarded well. Not much of an opening. Jack Murphy, the midi, all over him. Pass in front. That cannot find a purple shirt. Instead, picking up the ground ball, Clary. How good has he been tonight? Sure, he picked up that penalty, but he has been so aggressive as a long pole on the defensive end.
Just so much poise. I mean, he's been working for this. Being alongside Brett Kennedy these past few years, dealing with an injury as well in 2021. coming back stronger in 2022, and here in 23, marking down the best guy Albany has. I mean, I've seen this guy grow. He was actually a neighbor of mine freshman year. I mean, just seeing what he does and how he handles himself is awesome. It's been fun to watch these past 4 years with Clary.
Roa racing in. His first career goal here tonight. Pass in front, intercepted. Van Valkenburg getting his stick in the way. Right to the breadbasket. Now Albany has it. 2.5 remaining in the third quarter. So glad you could be with us. Game number 2 of the Syracuse men's lacrosse season. Zach Letson, Trey Redfield here alongside you inside the JMA Wireless Dome. Braden Huff. He has been quiet in this second half and quiet for much of tonight. Backing off, one-on-one with Clary. Gets the shot away. That ball loose and picked up by the Orange.
Got blocks, and Max Rosa took a lick from that one, coming up a little bit hobbling. But now if you're Syracuse, you got to clear. Running out of time here. Got to do it fast.
And the Orange do. Here they come. Oh, Rosa took a hit to the ground, and there's the flag. A little bit late to call, but that's textbook. That was right in front of the official.
And Albany bench, I mean, the fact that it was so late, they were freaking out about it here on the near side.
Easy call to me. Albany has lost a lot of the discipline they had in the first half. Leo to the net. That's right over it. Oh, man. Michael Leo, the freshman. We've already seen one player get his first career goal tonight for Syracuse. Nearly got a second. Orange win the race.
28, 30 seconds interference. Blue 28, 30 interference.
Interference against the true freshman Justin Lee. 30-second penalty. Albany, after not being penalized once in the entire first half, 3 of them here in the third quarter. Hiltz at X. Looking for a feed in front, doesn't have it. Spallina, he does have a feed. Wide open Leo, he cranks it up and scores! Oh, baby! How about that for your first career goal?
That was filthy. I mean, this is where you take advantage, right? On the man-up opportunity, nobody there. The mark was late, and lets Leo rip. Ping! That's just too easy. Keep the symphony going.
The freshman, team captain from one of the top 5 programs in the country in high school at St. Anthony's. So much of this Orange squad, it keeps it local. A lot of New Yorkers, and Leo one of them.
It's because it's the best spot.
SU wins it again. Here they come. Murphy, another opportunity already. Try to make it double digits. Under a minute to play in the third. It's the Orange by 9, 16-7. If you're the Orange, you can really melt this down. With under a minute to play, quarter number 3. Burt Whistle, he's got a hat trick. Being hounded. Rightfully so. Straight away with a shot. That misses to the left. Spallina there to back it up. 34 seconds to go. Quarter number 3. On him one-on-one. The long pole, Piscino. Back behind the net. Syracuse really melting it down. Back up top. That hit off the top. What a ring. Alex Simmons then delivers the blow.
What a hit.
My goodness. Back and forth. And that's a flag. I think that's going to go against somebody on Syracuse. There were hits right and left.
You think? I know. That was crossing the line.
And words being exchanged. The blow went to Peter Salit. He was not happy and started just jawing back and forth with the Orange.
Find out what the actual call is, but
see how the referee settled this
after
what was a scrum near midfield. We'll get out of the field. 1 minute for unnecessary roughness against the Denver transfer Alex Simmons.
Here's the look at it. It's a free ball, right? Go up with it. Bam.
And that wasn't the one that initially drew the penalty.
Right. Here's another one. Still with it. Oh. Right, yeah, I mean, you could see the head move on the hit. Wasn't expected either.
He's got a smile on the bench. Bringing the physicality for the Orange. Final seconds of this third quarter, ticking down. SU in complete control, complete command for the Orange. Syracuse by 9. A dominant third quarter that included 7 Orange goals. Cole Kirst playing a part, Owen Hiltz as well. The Orange sending a statement. Back inside the JMA Wireless Dome, Syracuse in command, 16-7 as we head to the fourth. A team and a much different result from last year. This is really Gary Gates' team. 22 new faces, 15 of them freshmen.
I mean, look at that. You see the bottom of that graphic there. 20 sophomores, 18 freshmen. The new faces, 22 new players, 7 of them transfers, 15 of them are freshmen. I mean, this is, you said it, Gary Gates' team. His guys behind him right there on your screen.
And you see that on your screen, less than 20% of goals scored returning from a season ago. Remember, last year, Albany and Syracuse, the Great Danes won by 2. Syracuse put up 12 goals. None of the players that scored those goals are back for the Orange this season.
New faces, new team, new buckets. Sometimes new is good. And that's the case right now for the Cubes.
40 left on the man advantage for the Great Danes. The foul against Alex Simmons. Pucci with 2 goals on the evening. Tries again. Will Mark. He got his stick on it. That took a deflection all the way near the seats.
Wonder if that got his face mask too as well, because that thing was flying to the seats.
Took some sort of care. And here comes Albany again quickly. A lot of work to be done. Mark. This time he corrals it. How about Will Mark? Save number 9. Save percentage hovering right around the .550 mark for Will Mark.
Here comes Carter Rice once again. Don't let him cook like he has been with his speed, cutting inside, but Albany's all over this one, understanding just how much of a hassle Carter Rice can be.
Now Syracuse can set up shop. Early stages of this fourth quarter, that penalty is gone. The Orange kill it. Here comes SU again. Cole Kirst with 2 goals today, nearly a third, right over the bar. Race won by Spallina. Waiting for the official signal. The long pull Pacino on him, he gets it in. Roa back up top. Owen Hiltz, 2 goals on the evening. Griffin Cook with speed. Launches on net. Oh, baby. Griffin Cook's on the board. He's fired up. Syracuse, a double-digit lead inside the dome.
He should be fired up, Zach. Been waiting for Griffin Cook to finally launch. The JD Red Ram with the nice cut. Oh, man. You cannot write that any better. I mean, look at this once again. That sliver, top left, that's as top left as you can get right there. Cook with the experience that he has, coming off the injury, ripping and scoring here in game 2. The captain as well. And Otto's Army is fired up.
Rightfully so. 2 touchdowns and a field goal for Syracuse men's lacrosse.
Just without the goalpost.
Right. Orange win it again. Griffin Cook going top cheese to get the Orange goal number 17.
Hey, I mean, I'll take a cage over a goalpost in the spring any day of the week. Spring game will come around. Give me the cages and the sticks. Let's go.
Orange control again. They have dominated possession so much here in the second half. Carter Kempney now behind the net. Who else? Joey Spallina. What does he decide to do?
It's a nice move to start out, but great reaction after that by the Albany defense.
First time today we've seen Brett Tenaglia being hounded, double teams. Alex Simmons trying to find the score sheet. First time today, a couple of assists. Looking for that goal, 30 to shoot for the Cuse. Melting it down. Simmons raced in, now back out. Back to the point it comes. Carter Kempney just went tumbling to the ground. Looked like he just tripped on his own footing. Picked up by the Great Danes. In transition. TJ Sheehan. Salit back on the field. As the Great Danes just trying to manufacture some offense. Only 3 second half goals for Scott Marr's team. For the Orange, 8, 17-7, Cuse on top. Salit just checked in, races in, sharp angle shot, rolls to the left. They win the race again with now 40 and change left on the shot clock. Behind X. Trying to set things up here. Waiting to make a move. Alex Pfeiffer in front of the net. Backhand. That went off the post. The backhand opportunity, Peter Salit. UAlbany gets it back though. Carter Kempney, one-on-one with Salit. X now back in front. Tried that jumping shot that we saw Syracuse and Griffin Cook try a little earlier in the game. UAlbany wins the race again. Whistle blown. Orange call a timeout. 11 minutes to go in the ball game. It's all Orange, 17-7 inside the dome.
Times here, we're not doing a nice job switching. We got to switch those. All right, watch the slip, but we got to work to switch. Understood? Okay. Win your matchup behind the goal. Remember, they set a pick behind the goal. What are we going to do? Here we go. Let's go.
Dave Petramalo firing up the troops. His defensive group, boy, they've been outstanding tonight. Only 7 goals allowed. It's the Orange with a 10-goal lead.
Name a more iconic duo. Oh, wait. I mean, honestly, you want to talk about 2 guys that are motivating with their game or with how they talk and how they just bring themselves in? That's what it is right there.
Flag comes in against Syracuse. Palangin. That rolls out of play. And now we'll get the call. UAlbany back on the man advantage.
White 33, interference, 30. Hey, they've been doing it the whole game.
Caden Cole called for interference. And while you can hear it, Dave Petramalo's not too happy about it.
I mean, he's not wrong. We have seen it a couple of times on the other side. But now if you're Syracuse here, how do you respond? Something that Petramalo said during that huddle, if you see a screen, jump it. Let's find out if anything is like that here on this man-up advantage for the Great Danes.
Already a goal today on the power play. There's a shot. Off to the right. Looked like Mark got a piece of it. 4 of those 7 goals coming on the man advantage for the Great Danes. Boy, do they need another one. That shot whistles, and Mark stops it. Bounced right in front of him. Got his body, got the stick in front of it. Another stop. Will Marks got 12 saves.
Now full strength. Let's see how Syracuse works in transition once again.
Spallina. He's got a little space behind the nets. Now picked up. Jackson Burtwhistle. What a day he has had. 2 goals in the opener, 3 more today. Under 10 minutes to play in the ball game. The Orange with about as strong a showing as you could have asked for. 17-7. Here's number 7, Michael Leah. First goal of his career earlier in the second half. Alex Simmons off to the towards-on watch list candidates. Owen Hiltz. Simmons again being hounded by Piscino. Under 30 on the shot clock. Hiltz again, racing in. Tries going on it himself. That ball across the line isn't going to count. Syracuse initially starts to celebrate. What's the call? Officials gather. Flag was thrown immediately afterwards.
Thought it may have been a crease violation before then, that the flag came right after. Still a discussion, though. If this is true for Hiltz, it's a hat trick.
Syracuse bench, 5 or 6 different players have their hands up.
You got to see if his foot is in the crease at all. He dives in,
Yes.
that left foot is
Yes.
in. Okay, so the crease violation comes, but then the flag flies right after.
Elijah Gash sends Owen Hiltz tumbling to the ground. Big time hit. These officials are still gathered right behind the nets.
Now
on
the
left
crowd is
side.
starting to get into it. Everyone thinks it should be a goal, but I would disagree, knowing that foot is in the doorstep.
Got another look at it.
This is from the near side. He drives in. He's diving.
That goal's been given.
And they gave it a goal.
Number 18 for Syracuse. Give Owen Hiltz a hat trick. Wow, so that flag got waved off.
It did.
So that's what the discussion was about. It's been a tough night for Scott Maher's group.
Not so much of a bad one for Owen Hiltz, though.
Not too bad at all.
Gets his hat trick. No big deal. So what is that? Burt Whistle with a hat trick. Hiltz with a hat trick. Polina with a hat trick as well.
Well, the hat trick plus 2. So he's
True.
Polina.
True. You know what I call it, but it's 5 of a kind. You played Yahtzee before?
A little bit.
Played over the summer a lot. It was kind of fun. Especially when you beat your family in it, too. Makes it even better.
Ball still loose, right at the midfield line. Rolling out of bounds. Big hit right in front of the Syracuse bench by Sam Alexa. That's awarded to UAlbany. Syracuse continuing to bring the intensity, the physicality. Dave Petramala's group is not taking a day off, not taking a minute off in this one.
Not even a second, I would say, either. I mean, this team has come ready to play. And they're not done. I mean, they play on Sunday against Holy Cross, a team they wiped the floor with last year to open up 2022.
Very quick turnaround for Syracuse after a 6-day break between Vermont and tonight. 2-day turnaround, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Here inside the JMA Wireless still. Back to the point, Jack Pucci. 45 on the shot clock, into the stick of number 45. Kakemo all over him. That long pole going to work on number 45.
They switched up the matchup, too. Not Clary on Hogg.
Syracuse, from a defensive standpoint, has done basically anything they want to with Graydon Hogg. It's been the key to success, the recipe. Fired in front, finds nobody except a white shirt. Here comes Syracuse on the break. Max Rosa with a trailer behind him. Up ahead. All the way back out. John Cohen, he's in for the first time today. A lot of fresh faces for this Orange group with an 11-goal lead. 7.5 remaining. Orange on their way. Picking up a second victory. How about the spin move? To Naglia. Fires behind the net. Caught. Syracuse keeps it going. Cohen. Blake Earlbeck. Syracuse team can reset here. 30 on the clock. Orange melting it down, looking for the right opportunity. Will they find it? Tenaglia, back and forth he goes with a dodge. Now back behind the nets. Only 17 to shoot now. Straight away, Carter Kempney. Spins, falls to the ground. Tenaglia. 8 to shoot. Gotta go if you're Syracuse. Right in front of the net. And that's in! That's how you use the shot clock. Blake Earlbeck, number 19 for Cuse. What a night.
emphasis on how you use the shot clock. Earl Beck fighting off the physicality, driving in and scoring. Everyone's getting involved. It's been that type of game. 12-goal lead for Syracuse. And last season, just 1 goal, 1 game played. Now getting on the board in 2023. This is the largest deficit we've seen in this series since 2018, when UAlbany came in here with its phenomenal team that went to the Final Four and crushed the Orange. Completely flipped script here in 2023.
Orange controlling this series for the most part. That's stolen away. Racing ahead, here comes the Great Danes offense, shot Braden Hogg. Couldn't get it on net. All the way and out of bounds. Braden Hogg. Syracuse has neutralized him today. 1 goal on the day. That came all the way back near the end of half number 1. TJ Sheehan, goal line extended. Still looking for his first career goal. After transferring from Denver. Hogg at X, one-on-one with Clary. That's been the matchup to watch today. Syracuse has won it. Shot on net, Will Mark. He's got it. Yet again, the ACC Defensive Player of the Week, and boy, is he showing you why.
I think you can make the case for
back-to-back, maybe?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it comes down to what he does on Sunday, right? But he's making a good showing here on Friday night. Landon Clary in there as well. He's been awesome against Creighton. I mean, go on and on about the matchup. I mean, this was expected.
Defensive efficiency was such an issue for Syracuse last season.
Not the case now.
Now an opportunity to hold an opponent to single-digit goals for a second straight game to start things in 2023. It is a new era of Syracuse lacrosse. Kepney couldn't hold on to it, but UAlbany can't clear. Earl Beck, who just scored. That's loose. Maintained. Behind the net again, 20 to shoot. Tenaglia, back up top. Carter Kepney winds it up, fires, scores! Make it 20. All Syracuse tonight. Carter Kepney.
It's the all-CNY guy who gets it done. Kepney over to the left side, had so much time to wind up and fire. Look at this. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, bang. You should never have that much time to try and score. But Carter Kepney, the freshman from Carthage, found a way to. Don't ask me how, just watch and learn.
The first goal of his career with his family in the building. That's pretty sweet. That's a 20 spot for Syracuse.
Love to know the last time Syracuse had scored 20 goals in a game.
Did it in the opener last year against Holy Cross.
That's what I'm thinking.
But it's few and far between that you can hit that many. It's been that kind of offensive showing for the Orange. SU controls. Barrett White, he's into the game. Fresh faces continue to file in. With a 13-goal SU advantage, 4.5 left. Nearly another one. That's saved by Van Valkenburg. Good look right in front of the net. But moving with pace, Jake Piscino. Great Danes, only 3 goals in this entire second half. Back out for the Great Danes. Amos Whitcomb could not get free. Thomas Decker races in, and that took a loud thump into the seats.
I mean, hey, when you have bleachers here, it's going to. Be a little bit different coming up, though. They're making that dome renovation here soon. Wonder what sound it will make a couple of years from now when that happens. Will be a little bit less of a dome? I don't know. I'd love to find out.
The metal bleachers, which is, of course, such a staple of the Carrier Dome now, the JMA Wireless Dome.
Especially with Otto's Army when they pound the bleachers.
Oh, yeah. In front of the net, nearly found Twine. Out of the stick of Parker Winke. Just goes to the left. UAlbany will do it again. There to back it up, Danny Kesserling. Back at X. Well behind the net. Now into the end zone. Racing in front of the net. Bouncer again to the left. And we'll do it again.
This is what Syracuse wants, you know?
Well, the clock is not the friend of UAlbany right now. And that's a timeout. Syracuse calls it. The Orange will gather together. What an evening inside the JMA Wireless Dome. A statement for this Orange side, leading 20-7. And, well, how about this Syracuse offense? How about the return of Owen Hiltz? 4 points tonight. He's got a hat trick. We heard before the game, Tuaraton, watchlist candidate. Makes a lot of sense as to why.
He deserves it. He just what he does off the ball to give himself chances. He's always moving. He loves that spot. So easy. Lefty's going to rip it.
20 goals for Syracuse tonight. A laundry list of goal scorers. Multiple, not just goal scorers, hat trick getters for this Orange group. It's unbelievable stuff. Hiltz with 3 goals and an assist. Then you add in Joey Spallina with just highlight after highlight tonight. 6 days after he had just that 1 goal against Vermont, I think he's more than made up for it. 7 shots, 5 of them have found the back of the net. Then Jackson Birtwistle with the first 2 goals for Syracuse. He's got a hat trick too.
He's come onto the scene dating back to last season. I'm loving it. You know, I mean, it can't just be Owen Hiltz and Joey Spallina and Ben Thompson in there as well, but get Birtwistle involved too. I mean, the middies got to get some respect too. I love it.
Jackson Birtwistle, 13 goals in the last 4 games of 2022. You add on that tally to the first 2 in 2023. That's 18 goals in 6 games. That's averaging a hat trick.
Quick maths. It's called a hot streak too.
I mean, that's insane.
When you average a hat trick, I think that tells you it's pretty good. And coming off of that timeout, you see there's a different goalie. That was playing. Harrison Thompson is now in net for the Cuse.
Opportunity for fresh faces everywhere for Syracuse. Thompson, someone that played a lot last season as a freshman. 8 games and started 3 of them. It was him, it was Bobby Gavin. Braden Hogg. He can't find the target. Out of bounds, 20 to shoot. UAlbany backs it up. 13 goal advantage for Syracuse, sending a statement here tonight.
How about Will Mark, too? No, Thompson coming in for Mark. 14 saves tonight for the LIU transfer.
That's put on net. Jack Pucci with 2 goals tonight. Quite the night for Mark. Give him 27 saves in his first 2 games in Orange. In front of the net, Pucci went behind his back, couldn't find it. UAlbany holds on to it again, but again, this is a clock that's melting down and not the friend of the Great Danes. Insurmountable deficit at this point of the ballgame. How about the hit? Michael Page delivering it. That'll stay with UAlbany, the officials rule. Now just 2 minutes and change left. Braden Hogg, just 1 goal today to the backhands off the post. Thompson remaining in front of it. That ball loose. Finally, the Orange will get it.
They can basically just run this one out. 80 seconds on shot, less than 2 minutes on game. This is what you look for. This is how you start out a weekend, a packed one. Holy Cross on Sunday, before the big game, before Super Bowl Sunday, right? But, I mean, this is what you want before the gauntlet that Syracuse has in front of them. Obviously the ACC, but tough opponents like Maryland in there as well.
Naglia centering feed. That ball rolls all the way to the logo. Only 1 minute and 20 left. And a scrum for it right at the S.
A little bit more of a scrum.
An extended one at that. Some collisions and then finally founds. Fiorini comes up with it. And a UAlbany player just got blasted. Thomas Decker. That's a concerning sight. And Really something you hate to see, especially at this point in the game, with the game all but over. Decker down on the ground. Someone that shined last year against Syracuse.
Had a hat trick against the Orange.
Just a different night for the Syracuse team. Coming off the brutal end of last year, 6 losses in a row. The Orange weren't even ranked to enter this year. But what a statement. First to win over the back-to-back America East champion, Vermont. Then tonight, well on their way to beating a team that got the better of them last year.
It's kind of like the prove it mindset, right? You know, the idea of, okay, you didn't have a great season. Picked dead last in the ACC preseason poll, too. You know, I mean, last year wasn't the best for you. You know, this is where we're going to put you, so prove it. Prove that you can be Syracuse lacrosse, the one that everyone knows.
Not the worst thing in the world.
The one that everyone respects, too.
Right, but when you can have an added chip on your shoulder, that can be beneficial in terms of motivation, in terms of firing up the troops. We heard from Dave Petramala earlier in the second half.
Right.
That's exactly what he's doing.
I mean, that's why he's there. I mean, obviously, for his great defense, one of the best polls to ever play lacrosse, but the motivation as well. I would go out and play for Dave Petramala if he motivated me.
Under a minute inside the dome. Syracuse 20, UAlbany 7. Final minute to play. Tenaglia racing in, winds and fires, jaws to the right. Syracuse will back it up. Just a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Racing in front of the nets. The backhanded try, that ball loose. Fiorini nearly came up with it. Instead, Van Valkenburg.
He didn't know where it was in the first place. He realized, oh, that was deflected. Let me scoop it right at my doorstep.
Just 20 seconds left. Behind the net for the Great Danes, but only 10 to play. Time running out. And that's it. The Orange dominating in all phases tonight. Syracuse is 2-0 in 2023 thanks to a blowout victory over their local foes. Syracuse 20, UAlbany 7 inside the dome.
That's what they needed. That's how you start a weekend. UAlbany tonight, the largest margin of victory for either team in this series. Like I mentioned the one before, 12 when that stout UAlbany squad came in 2018. The Cuse gets it done. Just got to keep it going, though. Holy Cross on Sunday.
18 wins for the Orange in this series. None larger, none more emphatic than here tonight. Syracuse wins this one, 20-7 the final. For Trey Redfield, our entire ACC Network production crew, Zach Letson, thanks so much for spending your Friday night with us. The Orange get it done, 20-7, back in action Sunday nights, Sunday afternoon against Holy Cross after an emphatic victory.